I will not send another generation of Americans to war in Afghanistan with no reasonable expectation of achieving a different outcome.
Your morning news now. The U.S. is speeding up its exit from Afghanistan after nearly 2 decades of fighting. While the previous deadline was September 11th, the Pentagon is aiming to have most personnel out of the country by the end of August. The military withdrawal of the U.S. and its allies comes amid a Taliban resurgence. The extremist group currently controls about a third of Afghanistan's provinces and is pushing to expand its territory. Breaking overnight, a reported factory fire in Bangladesh's capital, Dhaka, has killed at least 49 people. The fire broke out at a food and beverage 5-story factory. A senior fire official said rescuers were trying to recover bodies from the burning factory, which was locked from the inside when the fire began. This is a developing story. We will keep you updated as more information becomes available. The Massachusetts Attorney General announced a $4 billion settlement with Purdue Pharma, a main player in the opioid crisis. This settlement resolves a 3-year-long legal battle against the maker of the powerful painkiller OxyContin. The lawsuit claimed that Purdue Pharma and company executives allegedly lied about the addictive nature of its drugs. Wisconsin is among 45 states that took action in the settlement and will receive $65 million that will fund opioid abatement efforts. OxyContin has been linked to nearly 500,000 deaths in the United States over the last 2 decades. Tropical storm Elsa moved into the Carolinas and will race northward up the East Coast over the next few days. The storm already hit places like Florida and Georgia, with tornadoes being reported in each of those states. Elsa is expected to maintain tropical storm strength as it moves into the mid-Atlantic states and toward the northeast. Tropical storm warnings are in place from North Carolina to New England, a 700-mile stretch covering homes of 27 million people. Wisconsin drivers can now get behind the wheel when they turn 15. Governor Evers signed the bill allowing young drivers to get their learner's permit 6 months earlier at 15 years of age instead of 15 and a half. The law also increases the required number of supervised driving hours needed to obtain a probationary license from 30 to 50. That's not the only thing Governor Evers signed, as the Republican-written Wisconsin budget is now enacted. It includes a $2 billion cut to income tax and will also cut property taxes for the owner of an average home by $100 next year and increase salaries for state employees. Evers says schools will be receiving $100 million more in federal funds to use as they wish. Following a new resolution approval, the La Crosse Fire Department will serve as the administrator of the Holmen Area Fire Department until at least June of 2022. The measure also calls for long-term agreement negotiations to begin immediately. The La Crosse Fire Department's chief and subordinates will serve as the acting chief, management, and administration for the Holmen area. In exchange, the Holmen Fire District will pay La Crosse for its services at a cost of $14,500 per month through December.
Stay on the line and communicate with the dispatcher and just say, this was accidental, everything's fine, it was, my cell phone was in my pocket and it was accidental.
The La Crosse Police Department is issuing a warning after it responded to 79 hang-up 911 calls over 4th of July weekend. The department says it must respond to those calls to make sure the caller is okay, which can sometimes keep officers from responding to other calls. Even if you explain to the dispatcher that it was an accident, you should still expect an officer to show up. They just want to make sure nobody is in danger.
And our temperatures outside this morning, checking in at 65 here in La Crosse, 63 in Winona, 56 there in Black River Falls. Satellite pictures pretty active with some clouds moving in from the northwest, and it looks like those clouds will be sticking around throughout the day. Maybe some better thunderstorm chances by mid next week.
Well, we hope you have a great weekend, and we'll look forward to seeing you back here next week. We're going to send you now to CBS This Morning.